Hi everybody! Today we are going to be looking at the Tower God Reddit and answering some of the questions you guys may have. So without further ado, let's get on into it. Our first question of the night was posted by Just a Joker. And they ask, how are there still distinctively 10 families after eons? Shouldn't they have all meddled together after 20,000 years plus ? So long? The fact that all the families are so distinct must mean that they're inbred as all hell. On the surface, it does sound like a pretty silly question. However, I think it's definitely worth exploring. So, the first thing I would like to say is that the Tower of God universe is really big. It may not seem like it because most of our time is spent in the inner tower, but also think about it like this. There are 3 parts to this tower. We have the outer tower, the middle tower, and then the inner tower. The outer tower is where the majority of the people spend their lives, whereas the inner tower is where everybody who is climbing the tower stays, right? And then on top of that, think about each level of the tower being about the size of the Americas. Not like the United States of America, but the Americas itself. So I think it'd be easier to think about it like this. The 10 great families are on the inner tower. As new regulars climb up and become higher rankers, those are probably the people that the 10 great families are marrying and having children with. Probably the strongest of the strongest, right? Not to say that there probably isn't inbreeding going on, because they do consider themselves basically royalty, and well, we all know how real royalty worked out. However, there are still billions upon billions of people in this tower, so they have quite the pool to choose from. So, the family stays distinguished because no matter what, they have plenty of people to choose from. Not only that, but the actual leaders of the 10 great families are still immortal, so they have plenty of time in the world to choose a proper mate and to make more children. Whoopsies asks, why do Edwuan's wives marry him? If Edwuan has a reputation for being really cruel and apathetic to his kids, and as a womanizer, why do women still marry him and have kids with him? There's no point in marrying him if he's just going to indirectly kill your kid, which probably hurt like crazy to give birth to them and then take care of them and then cheat on you. Is there any benefits to marrying him besides elevating your status? Well, you do list one of the major reasons why someone would want to marry him. Status would definitely have a lot to do with it. Let's take a look at some other things that may contribute into marrying him. So let's break this down a little bit. First, we have already met Edwuan, maybe not his current self, but we have met a past version of himself. On the hidden floor in the Hell Train, we do get to learn a little bit more about Edwuan and who he is. And from what we can see there, he doesn't seem like all that bad of a person, at least at that time. Even if he is known to be really cruel and apathetic to his kids, it wouldn't go without saying that perhaps he is just that charismatic. I mean, let's think about irregulars and how even the Princess of Jihads are attracted to Bomb for no other reason than quite possibly he's an irregular. Same for Edwuan. He is an irregular, so it could just go without saying that women are just naturally attracted to him. Charisma may also have a lot to do with that, and there may be some other factors we do not know about. And as you have stated, status is a big thing. Wealth is probably another thing that contributes. Not only that, but Khun Edwuan is one of the first irregulars to travel alongside Jihad. He is basically a god to these people in this tower. And even though we don't want to talk about status, it's very important to mention that it is because of his status that is what gives him the power and the authority. And who's to say that these women are choosing to marry him? If someone who is basically a god comes to you and says, "You're going to be my new wife," what would you do? If he's as cruel as people say he is to his kids, as we've heard from Khun Agnes say his father is to his kids, then what's not to say that he's not just as cruel to his wives? If a god comes to you and tells you that you are going to marry them, do you really have a choice? Not to mention the one thing that you're forgetting about Edwuan. He is a Khun. Khuns are very manipulative and very smart and very tactical. So who's to say that it wasn't all just chess from the very beginning? Our last question by Karma no Noriko is about aging. And they ask, if Bomb was on the outside, it's obvious he ages, but when he enters the tower, aging stops. You can live forever in terms of age, but then that means you stay the same height and looks the same. So why does Bomb get taller and grow here? That is an excellent question, and I'm glad you asked. So let's delve into that some more, shall we? So yes, you are right that Bomb was on the outside, and he did age. So the question isn't that he didn't age, it's how does he keep aging? Well, for that you'd have to look back at the beginning of Season 2. What happened at the end of Season 1 going into Season 2? Well, Bomb was betrayed. Fug then began to train Bomb, and not only did they train Bomb, but they were preparing him for the Thorn. So, by what we know, we could determine that Bomb is probably on the second floor for a lot longer than what we think. Not only that, but if we're thinking in the terms of how someone ages in the tower, then we need to think of it like this. Shinsu has a lot to do with the happenings in the tower, and that includes aging. The lower the Shinsu, the more you age. The higher the Shinsu, the less you age. So if Bomb stayed on a floor that had less Shinsu for a while, he would have continued to age at an appropriate pace. And by the time he reached the 30th floor, we see less of him aging and more of him looking the same. As far as hair goes, I don't think that Shinsu controls everything like that. I think just like in real life, hair would grow the same amount as regular. So I think anybody in the tower would be able to grow the hair out long or cut it at will. Bomb has just been the only one we've seen thus far that has changed his hairstyles. Okay guys, and with that, I think we have answered enough questions for today. I hope you guys found this information helpful, and I hope you continue climbing the tower. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next time.